Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi. Can you hear my voice? Hi, I'm Shruti. I'm your TA for this course, Symmetry and Group Theory. I'm getting my echo back. Can you all introduce yourselves? In the chat box, maybe you can write where you are from and why you have taken the course. Hello, Jashri. You are a master student or bachelor's? Why have you taken the course? Hi, Neeraj. Divya is saying she is bored. Nice. Okay. So actually, I'm getting my echo back, so I will try to keep my mic off, but I'll write everything down. Is it fine? No, for 12th graders, I don't think you will be able to appreciate the course. You won't be able to understand most of it. You should be a bachelor student at least. Can anyone suggest me how to turn this echo off? I'm getting it back and it is very irritating. Okay, if you are understanding the video lectures, then it's okay. You can go ahead. Hello. Hello. Can you listen to me? You guys can answer in the chat box. Is my voice fine now or are you getting echo? Okay, nice, thanks. Okay, you need it for chirality. And why is it important? Are the chiral molecules symmetric? No, they're not symmetric. Can be, yeah, okay. How do you define the symmetry then? Line, okay. So we need to have a set of rules to define the symmetry, right? Set of rules which will define whether a molecule is symmetric or not. If it is symmetric, what kind of symmetry is this, and how molecules can be clubbed together based on the symmetry elements which they have. Okay, so that rule will define how do you set the rules first. On what basis do you define a rule? Okay, so for that we need some characteristic things. Now first, to answer my question which I asked, why do you need symmetry? Because based on the symmetry we can group molecules together. And based on the particular group which they belong, different molecules can show different kind of properties, so it becomes easier to study them. You know, like how many molecules are there in the world? Anyway, we are creating new molecules every day, so it is very difficult to, so, like the periodic table, we have arranged them in a all the elements in a group, and we study them group wise or period wise, thinking that they will behave more or less similar, the elements which belong in the same group. Likewise, in case of these molecules, we can group them based on the symmetry element which they have. So more or less they will show similar kind of spectroscopic properties or dissimilar spectroscopic properties based on the symmetry elements which they have. So we are doing this, all this classification just for ourselves, so that it is easier to study these molecules, right? So we need some kind of symmetry elements. So next question is, how do we do the classification? We need some kind of symmetry elements which will, based on which we will do the classification. So now there is two things, symmetry element and symmetry operation. So let us first define symmetry operation. What is a symmetric operation? This this is known as an operation is something which you do to the molecule that leaves the molecule in an equivalent configuration. Okay, so there are so many new things here, like something means, I will define this something later. Something which is performed on the molecule which leaves it in an another code equivalent configuration. Now, what is equivalent configuration? We will discuss it. Now, there are two terms now, symmetry operation and symmetry elements. We have defined an operation is, as you can understand, operation is something which is done, which is performed, right? Then, what is the element, symmetry element? It is a, a geometrical entity based on which the symmetry operation is performed. So element is an entity, something which you can draw, right, which you can imagine, based on which we perform the symmetry operation. Now let us define one by one what those elements are. So those who have read the course can tell me what are those elements. So why is it important? Why symmetry elements are important? Now based on these elements, the presence or absence of these elements will define the symmetry of the molecule which we are considering. Suppose there are 5 elements and there are 2 sets of molecule. Three of them, like 3 elements are present in one set and the other 2 are present in the other set. So we can group those molecules which have the first 3 properties as some kind of a group A, and the other one will be called group B. The name of these group will depend on what the 3 elements they have, right? So this kind of grouping can be done based on these symmetry elements. So first one, axis. Yes, someone said axis. Axis, okay, or called proper axis. Proper axis of rotation. What it does now, what this axis does is known as the operation. What it does is it does rotation. So it rotates the molecule by an angle of how much? By an angle of 360 by n degrees. Now let us define how you will. So the symbol for this axis of rotation is C, and we write it as Cn. Okay, so if you can correlate these two formula, if it is C1, it will perform a rotation of 360 by 1, which is 360 degrees, complete rotation. If it is C2, it will do 360 by 2, which is 180 degrees. If it is C3, it will do 120 degrees, and likewise. So if you have C4, if a molecule has C4, what it will do? It will do a 90-degree rotation. Understood? Suppose if I have a molecule like this, here I have some atom X, and if I apply a C4 like this, which goes like this, C4, then it will rotate this molecule in this direction like this. So the new configuration will look like this. So the X atom has changed its place now, right? But can you see that this molecule and this molecule, are they same or different? Do they look same or different? No, they are not same. The configuration, look at the spatial orientation, how they are present in the space. Is it same or different? Now this is what we need to understand. This is called the configuration, which I introduced here. Configuration, it has to look exactly same. The location of atoms should not change. Suppose this is atom 1, this is atom 2, this is atom 3, this is atom 4, right? So okay, let us say, then here we have uh, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, right? But here what you see, this position had an X atom, this position. It is not present here. Here it is an H atom now. So it is not same. So this thing is called, this spatial orientation in space is what you can call as a configuration. So on performing any symmetry operation, if the configuration of the molecule changes, then we say that that symmetry element is not present in the molecule, right? Now instead of that, if I change the molecule to this, and then you perform the same operation, C4 around this, then what you get is, this is, suppose this is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now you're rotating 90 degrees, so 1 will come here, 2, 3, 4, and this is suppose X A and this is X B. Okay, so what will happen? This will go here, X A, and this is XB. Again, we don't have a similar situation, right? So the spatial orientation has changed. But if instead of that operation, if I perform like this C2, right, out of plane, so you have to flip this molecule upside down. Then how will it look like? So this will be the basic backbone. So 1 will come this way, 2, 3, 4. Now here I have XA. Here, okay, so if these are down, they will go up. XA, XB. Now, is this equivalent? Sorry. Is this configuration same as this one? No, they are not same, because again the spatial position of the atoms have changed. Here the orientation of XA and XB atoms are down below the plane of the molecule, but here it is above the plane of the molecule. These are moving up. This bond is upside. Suppose if your mobile or whatever the notebook which you are using is the plane of the molecule, then now this XA and XB is coming outwards, and in the original configuration it was going inside below that plane. So we have changed that spatial orientation. So again this C2 is not present in this molecule. So that's how you check whether any symmetry element is present in the molecule or not, right? So this was like, this is called the axis. It's one of the element. Next we will have, so you understood this name proper axis. So if there is a proper axis, there will be an improper axis as well, right? But before that we have the plane, symmetry plane, and this is denoted as this Greek symbol sigma. Yes, symmetry plane, reflection. What? So reflection is the operation, but plane is the element. What it does is reflection. Reflection is the operation which it does. Its job is to do reflection. You can understand it this way. Next is, let me define them all and then I can give you example. Next is, again, if you had proper axis, you will have an improper axis. Improper axis of rotation. What it does is it combines both the operations performed by the axis the proper axis and the plane. So it does both job together. So what it does is rotation by 360 by n degrees, then followed by reflection. But this is not any reflection, this is a special reflection, followed by reflection through a plane which has to be okay. What it means is, suppose you have this is Cartesian coordinate xyz, all three are perpendicular to each other. Suppose you performed an operation c to z, right, in this direction. Okay, now you have to perform another reflection through a plane which has to be perpendicular to this z axis. So that plane will be this xy plane. Okay, so you cannot perform the reflection through this xz or this plane. Not by any angle, we cannot do that. So the plane has to be perpendicular to the axis angle. And the order of this operation, suppose you perform reflection first and then rotation, or rotation first and then reflection, it does not matter. You can perform any of them first. The answer will not change, means the configuration, if the molecule has an improper axis of rotation, the configuration of the molecule will not change. Okay, I will show you examples later. So it is either C then sigma, or sigma then C. The order does not matter. Okay, next is, so these are three and we have two more. The next one is called inversion center. So it is denoted by I. What it does is inverts. So and the name suggests, right, inverts the molecule. What do you mean by inverting? So it means that suppose you have a point, or every point x, y, z, a point which has a coordinate x, y, z gets converted to, or gets translated to minus x, minus y, minus z, right? This is called inversion. And the last one which we have is called, can anyone name what is the last one? The symmetry element, the last symmetry element. This is called identity. Identity means this element, you can say that it does not perform any operation. Okay, or else you can say that it is rotation by 360 degree. Okay, reflection by 180 degree twice, right? Or reflection by 120 degree thrice. Likewise, reflection by, sorry, rotation by 180 degree twice, rotation by 120 degree thrice, rotation by 190 degree four times. Okay, you can think of it like this, means it does not do anything to the molecule. Okay, now suppose if you have this water molecule HA, HB. I'm naming the H atoms as A and B just to identify them. There is only one kind of hydrogen atom, which is H. Okay, so don't misunderstand that. Now, if I put this C2 axis along here like this, C2Z, then what is gonna happen? This is here, and we have two H atoms. Now this will rotate it like this. Okay, so HB will come here and HA will come here. So this is one C2Z rotation. Now C2Z means rotation by 180 degree, and if I do it two times, again I perform a C2Z like this, then I will get the same configuration. So again HA will come this side and HB will be here, right? Now these two molecules have equivalent configuration. This is called equivalent configuration. After performing the symmetry operation, I got the same atoms in the same spatial positions which was there in the original molecule which I started with. So this is called equivalent configuration. Now we can say that from going here to here, like from here to here, from this configuration to this configuration, we have applied an identity element to it. Okay, we have applied identity, means we have we have not done anything to the molecule, we have not changed any of the positions, so it retains its identity. That's why it's called identity. Okay, is there any molecule that doesn't follow identity? No, there isn't any. Every molecule, so that is why its name is identity. Every molecule will have at least one symmetry element, and that is its identity. Now, you can ask a question like, why do you need identity? Because it doesn't logically do anything, right? We are not performing any operation. It's just the molecule is as it is in its original configuration, and we are saying it has the identity element, but that element is actually not doing anything. Yes, you're correct. Because this whole idea is borrowed from the mathematics which you might have learned in the set theory chapters, right? Set theory or group theory, which we learn in math. So to to form a group or to form a set, we need we need this operation to be there. So let us discuss. There is a question as well based on that. This one, the property that is not necessarily required for a group. What are the things which is required? What are the properties which required to make a group? So this is what now I'm talking about the mathematical group, which you might have learned in 12th standard maths in the set theory chapters. What are those four properties? Yes, in R.S. Agrawal, you might have read that, but it is there in all other books. So, first one is closure. Next one is associativity. Do you remember this? Then, what is the next one? Existence of identity. This identity element is called E. Yes, and the existence of inverse. Right? So these are the four properties which are needed for a group to be formed. Now, what do we mean by closure? Operation in the set leads to inset. Yes. So whatever you do in the set, suppose you have a group, okay, with some elements A, B, C, D likewise, and then you perform an operation, a binary operation star on the elements of this group. So the elements of this groups are A, B, C, and these things are elements. So you perform some operation, binary operation, A star B. Okay, so whatever the resultant of this operation will be, suppose X, this has to be the element in this group. It has to belong in the group, right? Suppose let us take the example of natural numbers and take the example of addition. So if you add any natural number, any two natural number, if you add, whatever you get the resultant, this resultant belongs to the natural number. So 3 itself is a natural number, right? But if you take the same set of natural number but take the binary operation as subtraction, then it doesn't belong. Suppose there is this example of negative numbers 1 minus 2. If you do, what you get? Negative 1, right? But this is not an element of natural number. Minus 1, so natural number starts from 1 onwards, right? So there is no concept of minus 1 there. Or suppose if instead of minus you take division, 1 divided by 2, what you get? 0.5. This also is not an element of natural numbers. So with this set, natural numbers have no binary operation that works. No, plus works, right? So it has to be the right combination of. Okay, yeah. No, I'm just talking about this property closer. So so it has to be the correct combination of the binary operation and the set which you are choosing. So closure is the property that makes sure that whatever the result which you are getting has to be present in the set itself. Nothing outside the set can be the resultant. So this is what is meant by closure. Next one is associativity. What do you mean by this? Associativity means, take the same example of this group G, which have elements A, B, C, likewise, and some binary operation star. Then associativity is the property which ensures that if you perform A star B first and then perform another same binary operation with the resultant of A star B with another element C, whatever be the result will be same as if you perform B star C first and then you perform the operation with A. So the order of the operation, should not change the resultant. Okay. Suppose uh, suppose like multiplication, 5 cross 2 cross 2 is what? 10 cross 2 is like this, but instead of this you do this. So the resultant is same. It doesn't depend on the order in which you have performed the operation. So can you relate it with the symmetry, improper axis of symmetry I told you? Where was it? Here. So here I told that it does not depend whether you perform rotation first and then reflection, or reflection first and then rotation, because they are, because if the element, if the symmetry improper excess of rotation is there in the group, then if it is there in the group, then the order of this binary operation, you can think of these symmetry element as a binary operation, then the order of these binary operation will not change the resultant. Okay, so the equivalent configuration, the configuration will be equivalent irrespective of the order. So this is because of that associative property. Next one is what? The identity. Now from here we started this discussion, identity. Yes, could you share it? Yes, yes. You can get it in the public sheet which is shared by NPTEL with you, the video and this PDF lecture also. Now, so let me write this first. The group should always have an element okay. So what I mean is, there should be such an element in the group which we perform binary operation with any of the element in the group, and the resultant will not change. So what we took first example was our natural number and a positive side. Okay, we had this, right? Now can you think of any number here? So 1 is a natural number, plus is my binary operation which I have considered here. So can I add any number to 1 and the resultant should not change? Is there any number, natural number present which can be added to 1 and the resultant will remain 1? No, right? Because here actually what do you need? You need a 0, right? But 0 is not present in natural numbers, is not a natural number, so you cannot put a 0 here. That is why this set, suppose we call it G, the set of natural number with plus as a binary operation, it doesn't form a group, because this identity, the property of existence of identity is not being followed here. So it followed both the two rules, this associativity and closure. Associativity also it follows, because 1 plus 2 plus 3 will give you same answer as 1 plus 2 plus 3, right? So these two properties are satisfied, but it doesn't contain an identity element. Also you will see later that it doesn't contain inverse as well, because, so what Now coming to the fourth one, the inverse. Existence of inverse. What it means is there should be such an element in a group. There should be such an element which we symbolize as A inverse, A to the power minus 1, which when performed with the element itself results in the identity. What I mean is, if I have a group G which is contains A, B, C and all, then and a symmetry element star, then there should be for A, there should be an A inverse which when performed with this will result in the identity element. Okay, now again the set of natural numbers. You need, what was the identity? So identity doesn't exist for that, but suppose, let us take another example. Instead of natural numbers, you take integer and then the same binary operation addition. Now for 3, what will you add here to get 0? So the inverse for 3 will be negative of 3, right? So but this negative of 3 is not something which is outside this set of integer. It belongs to integer set itself. So that is this property is about. The inverse should belong to the group, and if when we apply the binary operation with the inverse, the resultant should be the identity element. Okay, so these are the 4 properties which a set should satisfy to be called as a group, right? So these are the symmetry, these symmetry elements are same like that. So when we perform the symmetry operation, it also follows all these properties. So that is why this existence of this identity element is important. If it is not there, we cannot call it as a group. So for the completeness of the mathematical formulation of the group, we have this identity element. Every molecule has this identity element. I can show you this identity element. You can see this, right? You can see my screen, right? So here we have few symmetry operations: identity, reflection, inversion, proper rotation, improper rotation. So identity, what it will do, it should do nothing to the molecule. So take this example. So this is a molecule which has this 5 atoms, and if identity, it's not getting clear. Okay, let us see. something different first. Reflection. Okay. So this is a molecule. It it is an some molecule which has three similar atoms and one different atom. So it has what are properties? Let us see the reflection first. So it has three planes of reflection. First is this one. Okay. So what it will do? So the atoms which are on the plane, they do not change their position. Atoms which are outside the plane will change their position. What kind of reflection is this? What is the order of the reflection? By how much angle we are performing this reflection? No. It's not 120 degree. Reflection is 180 degree. Can you see it now? Yeah. So now what you were telling about was the rotation, right? Let us see rotation. How the rotation, let us take ethane. Okay. This is the molecule, which is slightly complex. Now I'll keep it like this, the view, and then see C3 rotation. C3 means what? It will rotate by 360 by 3, which is 120. So rotation will look like this. Okay, but if I had to put a reflection, I'll put a plane here and I will just get these atoms like this way, this atom this way, and this atom this way. Understood? Can you see my cursor? So reflection is 180 degree, but rotation can be any angle based on the n number. 120, 60 degree, 90 degree, 45 degree, like that. Another example, this is simpler one. So it has C2 rotation. So this is an axis, C2 axis, passing through the oxygen atom, and this is the rotation. Okay, let us see another inversion. So inversion, what I told was every atom in space which has some coordinate, suppose this atom, this green one, it has coordinate x, y, z, it will go to minus x, minus y, minus z. And it is important to note here that this inversion center means the point through which we are performing the inversion is not necessarily an atom. It can be anywhere on the space or on a bond, or it can be on an atom. So for this case, this inversion center is here, this atom. Because see, if I uncheck it, it is shown in a white color, grayish color. But when I check this, this is the inversion center. And if you perform the inversion, it goes like this. Because all these four atoms are same, after performing the inversion, the configuration does not change. Check this, ethane. Now here, where is this inversion center? It goes through this bond. It is on the bond, you can say. Now it is not on an atom. So it is not always true that the inversion center is an atom. It can be an atom, it can be in between a bond, or it can go through space where there is nothing. So after changing, it is not changing since all these atoms are same. So which atom is becoming what? So you consider this one. Follow my cursor. This is becoming this. So if this is xyz, this has to be minus x minus y minus. This is becoming this, and this is becoming this. This example, yeah. Here the inversion center is in space. It is neither on an atom nor on a bond. Okay, and if you right, this atom is becoming this atom is becoming this, and this atom is becoming this atom. Okay, then see this last one, improper axis of rotation. Okay, let us see ethane first. Now I will keep this configuration like this. So improper axis is a combination of rotation and reflection. Okay, so let us perform this rotation, reflection. Understood? So first it is performing the rotation, and then reflection. So here it is S6 means S6 rotation means C6 followed by sigma, perpendicular sigma. Now C6 is what? 360 by 6, 60 degrees. So it has to perform 60-degree rotation first and then perpendicular reflection. So if the rotation axis is this axis, the reflection has to be perpendicular. You can see, right? The both of these plane and this axis has a 90-degree angle. So this is 60-degree and then reflection. If you see from top, it will look like this, 60-degree and then rotation. So after performing this 60-degree thing, you can, so if you move this atom by 60-degree, it will come over here. But it will on this top plane, right? If you have to push it to the back plane, you have to do a reflection. That is why it is working. Imagine two planes. Okay, one plane is here, one plane is here. So if I call this as a top plane, and then you move these three atoms, suppose this is a triangle. If you move this triangle by 60-degree, the triangle will look like this here. But now this triangle is on this top plane. So if I have to push it here, then you have to do a reflection. Okay, understood? So can you quickly do the assignments for the week 0? We can go through it now. following the molecule given our elements that are not present. That are not present. Okay, mirror. C2. C2 is not present. C2 exists. Okay, C4. Okay. For C4, so let us consider these axes. Let us call it XA, XB. Now, first let us try C4Z, which will be C4 like this, and C4 means 90-degree rotation, so it will rotate it like this. Okay, so after that the molecule will look like suppose 1 2 3 4. 1 will come here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here. 1 on top we have XA, 2 nothing, 4 on below we have XB. So now is it equivalent? No, right? Now this is not equivalent because at this position in space, forget about this numbering 1 2 3 4. Just imagine, because this molecule is like this, X X. Now this one, it becomes like X X. Now at this position in space you didn't have X atom, you had H atom. Now it has become X atom, so we have changed the configuration. When the configuration gets changed, we say that this symmetry element is not present in the molecule. After C2 you have to rotate it. Which, what you are talking about? The question doesn't ask about any improper axis, so why do you need to rotate it after applying C2? You asked me a question, but after C2 you have to rotate it. Does that count? What do you mean? I didn't understand your question. So this molecule does not contain C4 as well. You can check this. We did this for C4Z. You can check C4X, C4Y. How will you apply that? X will be like this. Then you have to rotate it like this, C4X, and Y you have to, it will be like this, C4Y. No rotation after C2, but why? C4 means C4 means it is a C4 axis of symmetry. It is proper axis. So why do you need any rotation? If it is improper axis, it will be written as S4. Then you have to perform C4 plus sigma. Okay, no problem. Then this is the question. I think you guys can do it. Okay. Then the combination which has a group and its subgroup R. Uh, I think group subgroup we will discuss it later. Leave it now. This is already done. The property that is not necessarily required, identity is required, associativity is required, closure is required, but this commutativity is not required. So this is the answer. Commutativity means this is from the week 0 assignments. Okay, no problem. You can just solve it now. So the question says the property that is not necessarily required for a group. We discussed that closure is required, associativity is required, existence of identity is required, inverse is required, but we did not talk about commutativity. Commutativity means A star B is equal to B star A. This question is about a mathematical group. Okay, so it says that A star B should be equal to B star A. They have changed the order of the elements, not the order of operation. So this will not always be satisfied by a group. Can you take this example? We had the example of integer and this. Okay, so suppose this only. What integer and negative? Does this follow a group? Closure means it will, whatever subtraction you perform on an integer, you will get an integer. But the order does not. But the order here matters. The order will change the answer. So it's not a group. And also, if you do 3 minus minus 3 and minus 3 minus minus 3 minus 3 like this, so the answer will change. This will give you 6, this will give you -6. So closure is also, commutativity is also not present here. So this kind of property, when the answer will be same, then in those groups we say that it is it has commutativity. It's commutative. Suppose multiplication by 0. If you do 0 into any number, 0 into 10 will be equal to 10 into 0. So multiplication in the set of uh, this natural numbers, not natural numbers, actually integer, is commutative. Okay, so this question is done. For an H2O2 molecule, how is associative if not commutative? No, associative and commutative is different. Associative means the order of performing the operation. Associative, you need three elements at least. The order in which you perform the element. It can be associative, but it is generally, it cannot be commutative. So suppose you have, associativity is this: A star B star C should be equal to, should be equal to A star B and C performed first. So if suppose A star B is giving me X, then A star B star C will mean that this is equal to X. This means X into C. Okay. But now this is what, suppose B star C is equals to Y. Now here I am doing A star and different element Y. Okay. Here, and I'm giving just an example here. If the answer is number 10, here also the answer is number 10. That means that this element A, B and C, this group is following the associativity rule. Okay, but commutativity is in between two elements. Here in whatever order you perform, suppose I have A star, B star, C star, D. Okay, I can perform B star C first and then add D, or I can do this first and then then do D. So this order does not change. No, commutativity is not used in associative. Commutativity means if I can write this B star C as C star B, then it is commutative. But here I am not swapping the elements. Here I am changing the order in which I am performing the operation on these elements. If this rule is true, that B star C is equals to Y and C star B is also equals to Y, then it is commutative. So the associativity is improper axis. Improper axis, what I told, in improper axis the order of rotation does not the order of in which you are performing the operation does not change. So it is either Cn star sigma is equal to sigma star Cn, right? So this is what, this is not associate, this is commutativity. So this is commutativity. So this is a special, not all groups need to be commutative, but commutativity comes as an additional property. If a group has it, it has it, but it is not a required condition for a set to be called as a group. Yes, you can take a reflection first and then rotate it. Okay. The other question, that molecule doesn't have C4 and a plane. Which question? This one? The molecule doesn't have a plane. Uh, this molecule doesn't have a plane. Yes, yes, there is no plane here. C4. No, C4 is not there. I showed you, right? This is the answer, right? C4. Upon performing, this was the original configuration. This one. And then when we perform the operation, it became like this. So we have changed the configuration. Yeah. Okay. In this one, in this question, can you guys check the planes? If the planes are present or not. Yes. We can discuss the assignments only after the deadlines have passed. In this question, can you guys check whether the planes are present or not? Week 0 is not considered actually for your evaluation. Week 0 is just like for practice and trial, so it doesn't matter. No mirror plane, right? Yes, because there is, when you perform any play, any operation like that, it will change the configuration. Any mirror plane, either you place, let us call this A, let us call this B. If you place a plane like this is the plane. What it will do, what does a plane do? Reflection by doesn't a parallel plane to the molecule doesn't give reflection if it is a sigma H plane. If it contains all the atoms of the molecule, then it will not give, it will just act like an identity. It will not give any reflection. Suppose if my molecule was just this, just a square, actually in space, four carbon atoms like this, it will not be a flat like a paper. But just imagine if you have something like this and you apply a plane like this. So 1 2 3 4, and consider the atoms to be spherical in shape, perfectly spherical. Then what it will do, it will just rotate those. So after changing that, okay, let us consider the top part of the atom to be red. There is no two colors, just for illustration I am showing. So after performing that rotation, the bottom part will be red. For all the atoms, the bottom part will be red. So this is kind of what the molecular plane does. Now the top part will be looking like this. Okay, but the position does not change. So this is something like if you have a p orbital with two lobes, positive, negative, and you apply a plane like this, then it will switch like this. Okay, so for this molecule, Xa is here, we apply this plane. What will happen? The position of atoms will not change, but the direction in which they were oriented, that will change. So Xb will go on top and Xa will go to the down side, bottom side, below the plane. So this is again and not an equivalent configuration. The mirror plane is also not present. If I rotate a molecule 20 degree in x-axis and 40 degree in y-axis and then 40 degree in x-axis, is it equal to rotating? 1 second, let me write it down. So 20 degree in x-axis, suppose you are doing 20 degree in x-axis into 40 degree in y-axis. Okay, and then and then, okay, this you are doing first and then you are doing 40 in x again, 40 degree in x. Is it equal to rotating 40 degree in y, 40 degree in x, okay, like this, and then 20 degree in x? Now, so this is the question which you are asking, is about associativity. If the molecule has all these symmetry operations, if it has it, then it will satisfy this condition. But if the molecule doesn't have a C of 20 degree or C of 40 degree, then it will not satisfy this condition. Did you understand that? So suppose if instead of 20, 40, let us take simpler example. C2, C3, C4, right? So if an atom, if an if an molecule has all these symmetry operations, if it is present, then it does not matter if you perform these two first and then this, or if you perform C3, C4 first and then do a C2. Okay. Let me show you. I'll show you one second. Okay, so suppose this is a tetrahedral molecule. It has three operations. Let us consider first three: C2, C3 and S4. Okay, I am performing C2 first. One C2, performed one C2. But here you will not able to understand which atom went where. Okay, let me show you. So if I have a tetrahedral molecule, H1, H2, H3 and H4. Okay, and if I perform a C2 here, okay, some C2 operation in this direction, then what I will get? So when I perform any operation, the atoms which are on the plane or on the axis, they do not change their position. So H4 will not change its position. These three will change their positions. So C2 means, okay, let us take a better C2. So that C2 is not present. Here C2 will be present like this. Like this. So now upon performing C2, here I will get these two will change their positions, these two, and these two will change their positions. H1, this will be H2 and here H1. Here upside will come H4 and downside it will be H3, right? So I have performed C2 first. C2 first. So this is the result which I have got. Now let us perform C3. So C3 along this bond, along this one, C3. So what I should get along this CH2 bond, okay? So CH2 will not change its position, then other three will rotate in this direction. So here I will get H3, H1, H4. Okay. So this is C2 first, C3 after that. Now you do C3 first and after that you apply. You don't understand C3. Okay. For that, one second. Okay, this was the molecule C3. C3 will look like this along a C atom and 3 H atoms. So the atom through which the axis is going on, that will not change its position. The other three will rotate by 120 degree. Okay. So this is that. Now you do a C3 first. So you have to start with the same configuration 1, 2, 3, 4. H1, H2, H3 and H4. So let me do a C3 first. C3 through this. C and H1 through this. So this will not change its place. So this will become H3, this will become H4, this will become H2. Now then I have to perform a C2 like this. C2 like this. Then here I will get H4, H1, no, sorry, it is H3, H2. I think I have performed the axis wrong, performed the axis rotation wrong. That's why it is not matching, right? 2, 3, 1, 4. 2, 3, 1, 4. But the bonds are changed. I think I have done some mistake. Let me show it here only. It should follow because both the symmetry operations are present. C2 and C3 both are present in this molecule, right? So it should follow. Now see this, suppose I cannot write here. Okay. I will keep it like this. So C3 changed it like this. Then C2 is like this. But if you see, the actual atom positions are not changing. Now if you do a C3 again and then you do a C2. Okay, C2 it has to, I think I have applied the C2 wrong. No. C2 into C3. No, you have to perform the C2 4 times and sorry, C2 2 times to get that, and C3 3 times. Then this will be identity and this will be identity. Yeah, single operation, it is not changed. But if you follow the atoms in this space, forget about this H1, 2, 3, and 4. All are H atoms, right? So in here, you when you saw, if I do anything, do you see any change? C3 I applied, and then C4 I applied. There is no change. But if you take another molecule, mm, identity, here here it has four different colors. If you apply, it doesn't have C2 or C3, but if you apply a C3, the colors of this atom will change. Suppose if you apply a C3 from here, in the gray, in between gray and white atoms, the color of the atoms will change. And then if you apply a C2, it will change again. So it doesn't have those elements. So if a molecule doesn't have those elements, then the order in which you are applying those symmetry operation, then it will change the configuration. It will not keep it same. But if the elements are already, first of all, why do we call it as a symmetry operation or symmetry element? Because it is present. Suppose in this methane molecule, C3 is a symmetry operation for it. Why? Because when we apply C3, it doesn't change its position. It doesn't change its configuration. That is why C3 is there. So it does not matter if you apply a C3, C2, S4, sigma D, the molecule's configuration is not going to be changed. So order of that operation should not matter. But if the element is not present in the molecule, then everything, even if you apply any operation at once, it will change it immediately. The configuration will get changed. So from there onwards, if you apply any other operation, the configuration will keep on changing, and it will never be same as the original configuration. So their order will matter. But within the same point group, if you are performing the operations in any sequence, it will not change its configuration. Okay, I will upload this PDF in the link shared to you, and you can get this PDF if you want. And also the this video recording as well. It will be shared by a link. You can get it from there. You can ask in the group. So you, where from where you join the classes, there is a discussion portal, I think. From there you can, one second, let me check. Here I found it. One second, let me share it. Can you see this? Do you guys also see a similar page when you open the course? So here you have Q and A, right? If you follow this, it will get you to a Google group where you can, discussion forum kind of thing, where you can post your questions. Okay. All right. Then I will close this session for now. Thank you for joining, everyone. Bye bye.